Royal Family Practice. Can I ask you to hold, please?
My name is Gail. I've been working here at Royal Family Practice for around nearly 3 years. It's extremely busy. We try to cater for all patients that ring. Normally if they call to say, look, we need an appointment, it could take, at the moment it's pretty good 2 to 3 days, but then patients do have some specific doctors they want to see, and that could be anywhere up for 2 to 3 weeks.
Can I give you another number? Yeah. Or you could try the Eastern Shore doctors. Yeah, unfortunately we're fully booked today.
We understand it's very hard and we find it hard to turn them away, but yeah, we just are at full capacity at the moment.
Rest around there and
I'm one of the principal GPs. I'm also a co-owner of the business.
Haven't been getting any palpitations lately, nothing like that?
No, I've been pretty good.
We have about 18 GPs on our books at the moment.
That's fine, I can bend.
We've never managed to keep pace with the population growth in this area.
Isomeprazole.
That's it,
Yes.
I can't pronounce that.
Our books are always full, and on the occasions when we've opened them, they fill up again pretty quickly and we find ourselves at capacity.
We'll see you in a few months.
Right, thank you.
Our Medicare rebate has kind of crept up slowly over time when the government hasn't frozen it for a few years, but the cost of actually providing the service has sort of incrementally risen. And so there's a massive gap now between what it costs to run it, the cost of the service versus what you get back from Medicare. We try to do the best we can by people, but we've always got our eye on that, are we in the black, are we in the red? And for people who can't afford to see a doctor, it's becoming harder and harder. People get towards the end of their pay fortnight and the choices come down to putting food on the table, paying the heating bill, putting petrol in the car, or going to see the doctor and getting your scripts. And quite understandably, we're low down the list a lot of the time. I think what stops you from completely burning out and being cynical is at the end of the day, what you've got in general practice is the long-term doctor-patient relationship that you don't get anywhere else in medicine. You get to know people and they trust you. I've used it in a few patients here and Dan's had some experience in a hospital with it. I think general practice is a great career. All right, I'll leave you with Dan. Good hands there. Thanks.
I was seeing the same GP for a while, but she moved on and left, so now I'm sort of GP surfing. Because the doctors are in such high demand everywhere, they're all constantly moving around. You get a good one in here and they're only here for a month or two and they've got a better offer elsewhere and they run away. I suffer with MS. Things are getting worse. I'm having more and more trouble with my hands. I'm dropping a lot more stuff. You can't cure it, you can only live with it and keep soldiering on.
All done, Caroline. Thank you.
Sometimes I get bulk billed, but most of the time I pay up front, not pay afterwards, yeah.
So you can just clip on the side or insert.
It's like everything, everything's going up these days, you just got to keep rolling with the punches.
My name's Lucy and I'm a practice nurse here. I wouldn't say there's a typical day. I think what's typical is it's very, very varied. Right, you've had an ECG before, haven't you?
Yes.
All right, so we do need you to expose your chest if you can.
Okay.
Part of my role on the side is chronic disease management. So I spend a whole day once a week gathering data on patients who might be eligible for care plans. I only had some basic information, so do you mind letting me know what's been happening? A lot of people really did put off going to the doctor during COVID times. Nice floppy shoulder, because it's really relaxing. I think the things that got held off were things that didn't seem urgent at the time. So pap smears, prostate checks, having my fasting sugar checked to see whether I've got diabetes. So then obviously their adverse health outcomes are worse. And the whole idea about general practice is to reduce the healthcare burden on the acute care system. So now we're kind of catching up on that again. But now that we've got the added cost of, everything just costing more, so we've got a bit of a double whammy, I think.
I do have a regular doctor and I love her. She's been amazing, especially trying to have this one and things like that, so yeah.
Okay, just one moment.
My parents are always saying it's so hard for them to get an appointment, you know, even they just need to go over something. I mean, they go to different doctors, but still, and the same with my brother, you know, he struggles to get in and he needs to go. So, yeah, it's very hard. It's hard when you live more rural rather than in the city for healthcare. You know, it is what it is. It'd be nice if it wasn't as expensive, but everywhere's the same, so you just got to go with the flow at the minute. And it's hard for some people because they just don't even have enough money to pay for the medicine, let alone come to the doctor to get their scripts. So, yeah, it makes it really hard for a lot of people.
Thank you. Hello, how you going? Sorry to keep you waiting. No, you're right.
I mean, so we've got some characters that come through the doors, and yeah, just sometimes you can get quite emotional with some of the patients that explain things to you, and you do try and go that extra step for them, and they do appreciate it, and that gives you a happy feels. The practice is like a family, so yeah, it's nice to come to work.